this, but to just speculate, kore is a slang for two meanings in Korean. First, a very powerful slash rich person or group. It's a word used especially a lot in stock market terms. The second slang meaning of kore is actually a dick. Who knows, he might have been responding to the people chattering about this.
What's up, everybody? DT Parker here. So a few days ago, I watched the music video Idol for the very first time, and it was incredible. And I mentioned in that reaction that it's easily one of the best music videos I have ever seen. And it was like an explosion of visuals and swag and energy, and it was awesome. It was amazing, and I wasn't really trying to break anything down at that time. I just kind of wanted to go for the ride and enjoy the video, and that's exactly what I did. But of course, knowing me now, I want to kind of know what a lot of those visuals meant and what the lyrics meant. So here we go. I'm about to watch explained by a Korean for the music video Idol. They usually do a really good job, so I'm excited to watch this video. Quick reminder, I'm going to be watching Run BTS episode 21 tomorrow, so make sure you check that out on my Patreon page. The link is down there. But let's get into this. Idol, explained by a Korean. Let's do it. Yes!
BTS's new MV Idol is making everybody go nuts. So much things are going around, and of course there are already a lot of attempts to decipher it or link it to previous theories.
Okay.
Rather than going into theories and unverified speculations, in today's video I will try to stay even more true to the MV and the lyrics itself.
Okay.
There will be mainly two parts. First, the lyric and MV dissection, and second, the Korean cultural references. So without further ado, let's go into the MV and lyric dissection.
Okay.
Artist,
So dope.
idol, I don't care. RM is saying that he doesn't give a shit about what people call him by anymore. But one thing to notice is,
Gangsta.
when he's saying 아니면 또 다른 뭐라 해도, he comically dances to Psy's new face choreography. So apparently he doesn't care how many new faces he has. In the latter part of the MV, look at what the choreography looks like. You saw it, right? But let's try to chop this lyric into a different way again. Let's stop the lyrics at I don't, without the care. Not only does it sound exactly like Idol,
Right.
connecting it with the second line that comes before it, it becomes like this. So if you try to chop the lyrics in that way, it would have the meaning of, whatever you choose to call me, aren't you going to call me an idol again?
Right.
This is called a 답정너 situation in Korean, which means you've already said your own answer inside your head.
Right. I like
So
that.
as
I'm
you
going to
might
use
know,
that.
In Korea, hip-hop artists or singers that are in idol groups are not taken seriously, and they're actually looked down upon. While RM said that he doesn't care about what other people call him anymore, at the same time he's trying to criticize these people that call them this and that.
That's what he
or
does.
labeling them
RM is
as
known for
idols.
that.
These lyrics are pretty self-explanatory. J-Hope is proud of whatever he is, and most importantly, he's free. He has no irony anymore of who he is because he's always just himself. But one thing we should focus here are the artifacts that have been sitting on the table since the beginning of the MV. On the table we see two things, a sailor ship and a globe. And now there's an airplane in the background.
Right.
As J-Hope addresses in his song Airplane 2, the airplane, globe, and ship all represent their current status, the freedom they have now, and pride for global success/influence.
These guys, oh, they're so good at this stuff.
In this part of the MV, it's natural to have questions about what the drawings in the background actually mean.
Right.
The drawings seem to be watched by many people and surveillance cameras. And the lyrics are talking about how haters are talking about BTS. Nobody but the members that drew the drawings themselves would actually know the true meaning behind the pictures, but relating to the lyrics, we can guess that it's something like a message towards haters. Maybe it's what BTS members think haters are like, or what they think haters might think of BTS themselves.
Oh,
Suga's
wow.
drawing is pretty clear. A huge BT21 Shuki is crushing haters with his hands. It also has Ilsam, Ilpar, which are references from Deng, being the ultimate car pairs in the game's Hotdog. This could also mean their debut year, 2013, when they started from the ground. But now in 2018, they are this big. But Jin's picture is kind of hard to understand. He's drawn a kore, which means whale in Korean. Nobody but Jin will know the actual meaning of this, but to just speculate, kore is a slang for two meanings in Korean. First, a very powerful / rich person or group. It's a word used especially a lot in stock market terms. The second slang meaning of kore is actually a dick. Who knows, he might have been responding to the people chattering about this incident.
See, this is the problem with getting into BTS, as deep as I have recently, and maybe some of you have experienced this as well. They're on a completely different level of creativity and consciousness. You can't you can't count them as when it comes to just being a fan of music and exploring other groups and artists, because it's not fair. They're just on a completely different level. Like you can't, as you guys know, that I set aside some time during the week to explore other artists and groups because I want to give other artists and groups a chance. There's a lot of talent out there, and I want to have some perspective by knowing all different types of other artists and groups. One, it kind of makes me appreciate BTS more. But I try to go in with an open mind, and I try to see and focus on the positives of other groups that I see and other artists that I see. But it is really, really hard to not compare them to BTS. And BTS's standard is so high. And the only thing I can compare it to is it's kind of like being in a relationship with someone that you really, really love, you're crazy about, attracted to, you have this incredible, beautiful connection with, and you guys have the same likes, dislikes, and you just have that chemistry, and it's effortless. And then you go off and try to date other people. And you will be polite to those other people, and you'll be nice, but you're just not really feeling them. That's kind of the best thing I can compare to listening to BTS, and you just have that magic, that connection, that fulfillment, and then you go and date around and you realize that they're okay, but they're just not the love of your life. That's the closest thing I can kind of relate it to of the feeling. And so basically the kind of what I've come to is that I have to put BTS on its own pedestal, and all the other groups and artists that I might see in the future, my expectations are here, and I compare them to each other. I can't bring, BTS's bar is just too high. So that's kind of how I've been able to kind of manage it and cope with it, because as of right now, BTS is the love of my life, and trying to watch and go on and date other people, so to speak, it's just not the same. It's just a different level. And so that's one of the things about getting into BTS. It'll ruin you. It'll ruin you for life. Just like that love of your life, who was perfect, they probably ruined you forever from dating anyone else. It is what it is. But we all have to go through it and get through it and just, try to experience the world. But there's always that one that on a pedestal. BTS is that. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Orsu is a sound Koreans make when they're excited in traditional old folk music. Jiwaja technically means a song that people sing when the nation is thriving or peaceful, but in short, it's just another sound Koreans make when they're excited and to boost up the rhythm and good.
Another thing I love about this, and I love about just getting into BTS, is learning about the culture, the Korean culture. It's something I never would have explored on my own. And I'm even learning a little bit of Korean. Just, I'm reacting to so many things and I'm watching their episodes and stuff like that. So I'm learning a completely different culture and I'm even picking up the language a little bit because of my affection towards BTS. So that's the power of music and fandom, is that you open yourself up to the world in a way that you probably never would have otherwise. So that's the exciting thing about it, is really learning about the different cultures. And Korea, it's a beautiful culture, I must say.
Good feeling of the song. Is basically a beat used in a specific Korean rhythm called 굿거리 장단. And for the visuals used in this part, this is the Chinese character 사랑해, which means love. And in the latter part of the MV, there's also a part when Jungkook appears and the word 사랑 is actually written in Korean. In this scene, Jimin stands out among the whirlpool of BTS members, which could imply that even though BTS is a group and all the members rotate around me, and a lot of people actually talk about us only in a set, nevertheless, I acknowledge my own existence and I stand out as a unique being. Thus, I love myself.
Bugs Bunny t-shirt.
Face Off is a famous movie directed by famous movie director Oh Sang.
Oh yeah.
In the movie, the main characters who are an FBI agent and a terrorist get to change their faces. As Aura mentioned earlier about new faces, J-Hope is also referencing the movie to show that they can be called or changed into a totally different person. Like his next lyrics state, he can be sometimes a superstar or a superhero. Suga, Jungkook, and V all say they have so many different people inside them, but they notice that they are all parts of themselves too, so they decide to accept them and love themselves. Plus, you can notice in V's lyric 고민보다는 그냥 달리네 is a reference from their song 고민보다 고, which has the message of YOLO.
That's another thing, is that who, and maybe you guys are gonna have to help me out with this, what other group is operating at this level, this frequency, where just this deep, with this many layers and this much intelligence and creativity? Where are they? Who are they? Let me know, because there's a lot of groups out there that I'm probably going to watch casually and react to, but this is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from these guys. And so I have to drop my expectations, and I have to in order to appreciate some of these other groups and artists, because I can't compare them to BTS. That's not fair. But if you know of any other group that's coming close to what these guys are doing, I'm sure they're out there. Maybe not to this level, but I'm sure there's other groups in K-pop that are maybe close to being as creative as these guys on this level. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions on who's coming close. I would love to watch those guys and see what they're about as well. I'd love to react to them. So help me out and point me in the right direction, because you know where I'm coming from. You know what I'm used to. All right. You can't go from an exotic 3-course meal to a bologna sandwich. You know what I'm saying? That's a big letdown. Anyway, help me out.
어쩌고 저쩌고 basically means haters or people are talking shit about them, like blah 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 blah, this and that. 떠들어대셔, 너나 잘하셔. These two lines are a form of sarcasm that only Koreans will understand. 떠들어대 and 너 are both 반말.
I will say this. I have a YouTube channel, I have a reaction channel. I'm not even that big, but I have haters. It's a weird feeling. I didn't have haters a few months ago before I started my YouTube channel. It's kind of a weird feeling. You owe it to yourself to have some haters. I don't know if you guys have any haters, like especially internet haters. you owe it to yourself to get you some haters. It's a weird feeling. It's a new experience, that only a few people really get to experience. But if you have Twitter and stuff like that, I'm sure you have some. But for those of you who don't have any haters, you need to get some. It's quite a rush. It's quite a feeling to have haters. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's hilarious.
Which is informal speech. But in the lyrics they attach 셔 and 하셔, which is a traditional form of honorific called 존댓말. So the sentence here is a mix of informal and honorific speech. Thus, sentences like 너나 잘하셔, 너나 잘하세요 would be criticizing or being sarcastic towards people who think highly of themselves. But one more thing to notice in the MV again is the bunny in the moon.
Right.
This comes from a Korean mythology that a rabbit on the moon is making the medicine for immortality. Thus, the rabbit on the moon stands for prosperity and immortality in the Korean or Eastern
How do they
But why
think
does that
of
mean
this?
immortality? Because there's a saying in Korean, 욕을 많이 먹으면 오래 산다. It means if you get cursed a lot, you live long. The lyrics of this part says people are saying all kinds of shit to BTS.
See, that's why I say BTS is the hardest working group of all time. Is because not only is the amount of content and music that they put out, it's how much work and thought goes into each project. You have to remember that. So some people could just see the volume of the work that they're putting out and be like, wow, they work really hard. You don't know the half of it. The amount of work and thought that they put into their songs and their projects is probably the equivalent of 5 or 6 songs by anyone else. You have to keep that in mind when thinking about how much work and how hard they work and how much, you know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable.
So in conclusion, regarding the amount of shit BTS received, they will have immortality and prosperity. Just another fun thing. Rabbit in Korean is called toki.
Toki.
And in this part, you can hear BTS singing in the background.
Wow. I love that line.
A giant shark tries to attack BTS,
Right.
but they are unaffected, and they keep on singing, "You can't stop me loving myself." They don't care about the fact that a big shark in the bag is trying
Nope.
to eat them up, but rather they enjoy the situation by saying. Now on to the second part. There are so many Korean traditional references in this MV. The traditional clothing hanbok, the Korean house kiwatjip, the tiger which stands for Korea, the moon rabbit, the Korean fan dance,
Wow.
the word love, and the traditional lion dance called 북청 사자노름. Actually, this dance was done during the full moon, which has the meaning of warding
So
off
dope.
all bad luck
So dope.
from ghosts, and celebrating to bring prosperity and unity to the village. Furthermore, you can see that the choreographies were also affected by the traditional Korean dance moves, like the head-spinning dance, 상모들. By these references, you can see that BTS is bluntly rebutting the
Whoa.
criticism of them being westernized
Damn.
and focusing more overseas. At the end of the MV, if you see very carefully, you can see that the globe has changed from South America to where you can see Korea. Also, on a side note, you can see the sun rising in the beginning and lots of other times during the MV, along with the shining moon. And the sun also goes down at the end. The sun, paired up with the artifacts...
How many of you guys noticed that?
kind of remind you of the 해가 지지 않는 나라, the empire on which the sun never sets, which was a term to describe the Spanish or British Empire in the past when they had so many colonies all over the world.
The intelligence
The earlier
of these
references
guys.
about the moon's prosperity and immortality, the sun also represents the fact that BTS is so global that their fandoms are everywhere around the world, which makes them a cultural superpower empire where the sun never sets. At the end of the MV, the sun actually does not completely go down, which means, despite the Love Yourself series might have come to an end, they still have so much time and new stuff to show us in the future. Lastly, as the director's comment, I think that the colorful, crazy, distracting style of the MV and the clothes they wore all stand for accepting every single side of you, promoting diversity, accepting differences throughout the world, ultimately by loving yourself.
Unreal. Who else is doing this? Who? Damn. See, who else is doing this? What other group, is taking it to this level? This takes an incredible amount of creativity, intelligence. that I think most people, most artists aren't willing to put that much work into it, right? Like, you just have to be on a completely different plane. But that's why I love BTS. And yes, that's why my reactions are different to these guys. Okay? What do you want me to do? Like I told you before, being on a date with the love of your life and just being on a date. It's different, right? All right, so give me a break. They bring it out of me. They bring it out of me. I love these guys. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And you know the deal. Until next time, I will see you soon.